Okay, I'm here in my kitchen and I'm about to emulsify the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ingredients on the list. Note, there's no early preparation. I'm using whole mushrooms, whole pieces of fresh garlic. I just throw it all in there because whether you're using a double bowl chopper or what the ultimate means of chopping this is. Excuse me while I get this fit. It will all get mixed, so there's no early prep work. Okay, here is the first 8 ingredients emulsified. This is what it should look like. It should have the familiar taste of tomato, kind of the back bitter of the mustard. You can use mustard seed and it will get chopped up when you put it through the chopper or whatever you're going to use, and turn into a powder. And then it should have kind of this acidic, little bit of a tang of the vinegar. So you're trying to get the ketchup, mustard, and relish. Here's sweet pickles. See the size? It's nice if, you have a tiny bit of crunch and you feel it in the mixture. And then essentially I add the wheat gluten and I work it in. And the pickles. And I'm going to combine all this like I'm working in a bread dough. So I think you would, with your machinery, Riser used their double bowl cutter backwards, so it wasn't chopping, but you could also use a big mixer with a bread hook attached. So hold on. So I'm working the gluten into the mixture. Okay, here's the mix, the emulsified product with the sweet pickle and the gluten mixed in. This is the field roast product that we're trying to emulate, not in flavor, but in texture. This is very firm. It's in a clear casing, big long wrap, so it can be bundled like that. Now, right now, this product is too soft. I can tell. When I press my finger, it doesn't bounce back. You see that? That's too soft. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let it sit and see if more gluten forms and kind of what happens. I might have to add more gluten to this. I'm trying, our goal is to try to make mushrooms and the gluten equivalent. They're both right now in this tiny micro batch, 3.2 ounces. And then I would list fresh mushrooms as the first ingredient, which I think would look really terrific. But we're gonna do our best. So at the moment, this is a little wet and we're gonna let it sit 45 minutes and see how the gluten builds up. And sometimes also I think the mushrooms, the fresh mushrooms, release some water molecules and that helps it form too. So we'll let it sit in 45 minutes and see what happens. 45 minutes. Okay, so I let the gluten develop.
What?
And I'm still not fully satisfied with the springback. We're going for this product. Now this is cooked, but if you look inside, you can see kind of the gluten development and you can see how firm this is. Now, once again, this isn't cooked. So I am going to add a little bit of gluten, just like if we were baking bread, and work a little bit more in and see what we get when we let this sit again. Okay, so after I added a little gluten, I'm liking how this looks. It's firmer. It's firmer, and this is what we're going for once it's cooked. When you can see there's more gluten development. You can see the strings in there, and we want strings. See that? So I added a little more gluten and I let it sit, and it seems to be doing great. Now I'm going to put it into the casings. So I could only find these colored plastic casings, but ideally we're looking for this clear. And you mentioned a plunger. I'm just using a rudimentary plunger, and I'm going to force the mixture through for this little micro batch, and we'll see how it turns out. Okay, so here are the results. Here's what we're shooting for. This is with a casing, a clear casing. This is the ideal product. Here it is without the casing. And we looked at the inside, and here is the hot dog Americana that I made, and I hand packed it in the casing. It's pretty firm. Could always be a little firmer. These haven't sat and chilled overnight, but it's pretty good. These are the pickle slices, and I'm pretty happy with it. If we break it open, it has a nice meaty quality, very similar to this. This one's a little denser, which you just can't get that density with the hand packing. Thanks.